Brodes Media.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Before we talk about the sweep of the Nationals, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button as well. Over on Twitter, at Brodes81. That's my personal Twitter account. You're going to want to hit the follow button there as well. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Enjoy the show. I mean, you can't make this up. I have no idea how this baseball team continues to win games. Game 2 of this national series, you're trotting out Verlin, Marchand's hitting home runs, right? I mean, it was just absolutely bizarre to see the production by the nobodies of the world. Who else was out there? It was Verlin. Torreyes had some big hits. What is happening? How is this occurring? Matt Moore barely gives you any innings. He threw 44 balls out of 82 pitches. He was a disaster, getting crushed early. Not that Aaron Nola wasn't, because Aaron Nola was hanging curveballs left and right. You get a curveball. You get a curveball. You get a curveball. It was just pathetic. Aaron Nola, this is Aaron Nola this year. You're going to get performances that make you lose your damn mind because it's absolutely genius and it's a outstanding effort. But then there's ones like today where, what are you doing, Aaron? This is the big moment. The pressure's on you. You're in September. We need you. We need you, and we need Zach Wheeler. And Wheeler's hit a bit of a bump in the road. There's got to be more to him. Both of these guys. If you're going to make a run at this thing, you need more. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking about what happened in the 8th inning. I'm thinking about Garcia in the field. Mistake. But you got to take advantage of these teams that have no idea how to play baseball, or if they even want to play baseball. You have to crack them when they keep giving you chances. Here's Koch giving you RBIs left and right. Oh! Big time 3 RBI double. And that 8th inning started all because of JT Realmuto. And JT is playing first base a bit banged up. I don't know how bad the shoulder is. They're making it seem it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, they're not playing him behind the plate for a reason. And he's been playing a lot, so here's a chance to maybe limit him, just wear and tear on his body. But I don't know. I mean, is this sort of like not to the same level, obviously, because with Rhys Hoskins, it was clear to the eye, and it was so simple to get a grasp that Rhys needed to be off the diamond. JT, it's not to that level, but I wonder if they're pushing something the extra mile, which I guess if you're going to do that, now's the time. And like I said, with JT, it's not on the level of Rhys, which changes the perspective on it for sure. You need better pitching, though. Unless, because the teams that are in front of you are so done and so not ready to compete, that ultimately it doesn't matter if you're trotting Matt Moore out there or if Aaron Nola gives you 4 innings, 6 earned runs, and 2 walk batters and leaves the game with the bases loaded and putting Falter in an uncomfortable spot, which he wasn't able to deliver. This Phillies team was down 6-0, and they just grind your way back into it. Koch came up big, as I alluded to, and then the 8th inning, mistake, double play. Nope. Don't feel like turning the double play. I'm the Washington Nationals. Why would I want to do that? Come on. Really? How do you fuck that up? Honestly, how do you fuck that up? What are we doing? How is this occurring? Multiple times in 1 inning. It's a great job of duplicating what the Phillies look like for 99.9% of the season. You know, I thought early there would have been an opportunity to really square him up with a punch in the jaw. Bryce Harper had the bases loaded, but that was the most human I feel I've seen Bryce Harper in quite some time. And he did not win NL Player of the Month, really, with those numbers. It went to Crone instead. And I'll look up the numbers just to give you the perspective on it. I think Todd Zalecki was the one I saw that had it tweeted out. Crone's August, this is what he was slashing. 387, 463, 828. With 8 doubles, 11 homers, 34 RBIs with a 1.291 OPS. Here's Bryce Harper, though. 337, 455, 776. That's what he's slashing with 11 doubles, 1 triple, 10 homers, 25 RBIs with a 1.231 OPS. We've watched Bryce every single day compete, so we're clearly biased. No one's going to admit that they've watched every single version of Crone over the August month, but it's pretty insane to think about what Bryce Harper did this August and how somebody was on a tear very similar in their own way throughout that same time, because Bryce was on the level of Barry Bonds. Yep, you heard me. Barry Bonds. I saw the tweet. Now I'm trying to look for those numbers as well, just so I can give you the comparison to Barry Bonds, and I'm not just vomiting out of my mouth. Let me see if I can scroll through the tweets to find it. It wasn't too far down the list, so it should be here pretty soon. And if you know about what I do, I talk slower when I'm trying to find what I'm looking for, so I'm going to keep doing it to see if I can figure it out, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to figure it out. That's unfortunate. Anyway, now I'll search Barry Bonds just to see if it pops up. How many people are tweeting Barry Bonds? Oh, okay. Here you go. Bryce Harper in August. I gave you his numbers already. 337, 455, 776. Barry Bonds in 2000, 2001. 317, 479, 775 with a 1254 OPS. That's a Barry Bonds type of month. But anyway, I digress. Where were we? Yes, it's ridiculous to think about where this team is. Odubel had 3 hits on the day. Marchand with the major walk. Just a professional at-bat. This dude, he's hitting home runs in the major leagues. But when you're talking about actually playing minor league baseball, which is where he was all season long, he can't have any home run power. He doesn't drive the baseball over the wall. Make it make sense. That lineup they had in Game 2 was probably one of the worst lineups ever in the history of Major League Baseball, and that's saying a lot considering the slop that Arizona and the slop that Pittsburgh and the slop that the Baltimore Orioles tried out there consistently on a game-by-game basis. Really? Really? And look, I mean, come on now. What was that? And Matt Moore, too, on the mound. I know Zach Wheeler and Nola have been struggling, but if it was that lineup against the Nationals and you at least had, I don't know, your ace on the bump in Wheeler, you could at least go, like there's something maybe to look forward to shut them down on the pitching angle, right? With Zach Wheeler from the pitching angle side of things here with the Phillies, you can shut them down and maybe all you need is 2 or 3 runs. They end up scoring 12! 12-6, they won that game. 12 runs with that lineup. Homers galore. Brad Miller comes off the bench. He shows you some pop. He's hitting a bomb. This team doesn't make sense. They had no business sweeping this series, winning Game 3 and winning Game 2, with all due respect. But that's a product of what they're going to see for the rest of the way. And that's why we talked about it. You know how many times we've heard, and I've said this too, so I've been a prisoner of the moment as well, but how many times have we heard specifically Joe Girardi too? Who cares about the schedule? I'm sick and tired of hearing about the schedule. I don't want to hear about the teams they're playing anymore. Well, the reason why we bring that up, Joe, is because you're winning 12-6 with one of the most embarrassing lineups I've ever seen in my life. You're winning Game 3 because of some sloppy errors by Garcia on the defensive side of the baseball, and here comes the 8th inning, just pounding runs. That's why we bring it up, Joe, because against 92% of the league, you're not seeing this happen, and the Phillies are probably going home with another L on their record. But here I am, being a doofus late night, yelling at Dave Roberts, "Yo, Dave, why you taking out Max Scherzer?" I'm screaming about the Dodgers game playing the Braves, and the Braves ended up pissing it away late, thank the Lord. A.J. Pollock comes up big in the 8th, and I'm hooting and hollering and screaming at my television, waking my dog up in the other room when I'm screaming at 1 a.m. because this is on the damn West Coast. So this team just has me in a silly, dumb, goofy mindset where I'm cheering them on, but this doesn't make any sense. They should not be winning baseball games. I'm enjoying that they are, and I'm loving it, but this is absurd. Marchand playing, earning a big walk, hitting home runs, Vierling, hit after hit after hit after hit. What? Matt Vierling? Who? 12-6 victory, though. It's ridiculous. Now you're going down to Miami to see if you can get over that kryptonite, if you can get over that brutal team that stabbed you in the back a bunch of times last year. They haven't been necessarily the problem this season. It's been the Arizona Diamondbacks for the most part. When you talk about a sloppy squad that you need to take advantage of. But hopefully it doesn't show its ugly head once again. I got to give credit to the bullpen. Archie Bradley, Ian Kennedy late. You also had J.D. Hammer in there, and Coonrod have some nice innings prior to that. So the bullpen holding their own. I know Falter came in for Aaron Nola's mess. You're not going to execute as much as you would like to. I hate every time De Los Santos comes into the game. He's your David Hale. When it's 16-1 the other team, or if it's 17-1 instead of a position player, that's when De Los Santos comes in. But realistically, he shouldn't even be on this roster. He's so pathetic. So just seeing him in general really eats me alive and burns me to my core. How about this for a quote after the game, though? In the game, Kutch said this postgame. Everyone in the clubhouse was screaming, just keep it at 6. We'll come back. We'll score those runs. We'll win this game. Now, I know that the other team stinks. The Nationals absolutely fucking blow, and it's clear as day. There is an element that I'm looking at here, though, with this team. Because we ask all the time, do you believe in this team? And most people would say no. Why would we believe in this team? And that's fair, right? That's very logical to approach it because this team has been such a up and down squad. Here we go. We're going through the up again, and we know that there's going to be a down again. That's the nature of the Philadelphia Phillies. They believe in themselves, though, and I want it to be that way, of course, but just that quote. Keep it at 6. We'll be all right, boys. Let's go. Let's keep bouncing. There's this sense of urgency with them where, I don't know, the alternative, I guess I'm not taking this too far and making this seem like, oh, there's something really in there because it would have happened already if there was. They've had plenty of moments where they could have turned the point and turned the needle and turned the page, and it just hasn't happened. When you have a billion of those and it never occurs, it's because, well, there's a reason why. Right now, though, the alternative would be they shut down, they die down, and they roll over. They burn. Instead, there's a little fight involved. There's some sense of urgency. Against bad teams, I got it. I'm just bringing it up because, well, the opposite side of it is we're down 6-0. Let's just bleed until the game's over. Oh, well, our number 2 guy, Aaron Nola, maybe even our number 3 guy in Aaron Nola didn't have it tonight. What are you going to do? We'll worry about the Miami Marlins to see if we can sweep them or take 2 or 3, and we'll be 4-2 in the 6-game stretch, which I told you wouldn't be enough with the way the Braves are playing and with how you set yourself back, even though the Braves just got swept of the Dodgers, and now they're going to be playing the Colorado Rockies, and the Rockies are actually good at home. Over 20 games over 500 at home, even though they're under 500 as an overall record, they're that terrible away from Coors Field. 4-2 might be all right with the Dodgers sweeping the Braves. But ultimately, you dug yourself so deep that 4-2, 3-3, nope, got to be stronger. We'll see what they're made of in Miami. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, they didn't deserve to win a couple of those games. I mean, that lineup in Game 2, I know they won 12-6, but how? How? Corbin stinks. Maybe that's how. 5 innings, 6 earned runs, 9 hits. And how about this for the people who tried telling me for about 2 weeks span? Bro, I told you, Rhys Hoskins, he's the reason why this offense is lethal. Rhys Hoskins himself. No. He's a 250 hitter with some pop that matters in this lineup. And it is a lot different with him batting behind Bryce Harper and not batting behind Bryce Harper. With that said, he's not Barry Bonds. He's not the elite of the elite. He's not the most special bat in the world. He's a nice bat. He's a good bat. He shouldn't be shutting you down and you go from 4.5 runs per game to being at the bottom of the entire league. And now you're starting to see, yeah, you're right, Brodes. How about that? Yeah, you're right, Brodes. How about that? Because you got the no-names of the world creating 12 runs for you. You're scoring 7 runs. I mean, please. I knew it wasn't just one guy. And then I also tried throwing this out at everybody, but no one wanted to hear it. What were the numbers like without Bryce? Is this Rhys Hoskins' impact, or is this just, in general, a JT Realmuto, a Bryce Harper, or a Rhys Hoskins, just one of your better players being in the lineup compared to not being in the lineup? But anyway, I digress. I just wanted to make sure that everybody's aware that this team is thriving offensively without Rhys Hoskins, and people were down my throat saying that I was not giving Rhys Hoskins enough credit because, well, one game they scored 9 runs when he was in, and the other game they scored 2 without him. Yeah, well, come on now. Let's look at a huge sample size. You can't just be looking at a 1-week span of baseball. Teams could be totally different in 1 week compared to the following. And you're starting to see that. You know what else you're seeing? If you're paying attention? DraftKings Sportsbook. The NFL is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving all new players a can't-miss offer for Week 1. Bet just $1 on any NFL game during the first week of the season and receive $200 in free bets instantly. No matter what, take advantage of this limited-time offer now. You heard right. DraftKings is giving all new players $200 in free bets instantly when you place a bet of $1 or more on any Week 1 game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any Week 1 game. That's promo code Brodes to get your free $200 in free bets instantly for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only, restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, you know the deal. Let's roll on over to the Anytime Hotline. And the Anytime Hotline is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power, home to your solar experts. So if you're looking to get a solar energy system added to your home, water purification system, clean, healthy water for you and your family, HVAC, plumbing, electrical upgrades, you name it, they provide so much for your home. www.orbitenergy.us or call them at 800-836-3987. That's 800-836-3987. All right, let's hear from the people. It's a big weekend for the Phillies. The fact that they're here blows my mind. I'm watching the Braves very heavily, though, so they got me sucked in. That's what it comes down to. And I've made this point a lot. Get me to football season. Now, it hasn't been fun. It hasn't been extremely likable. It hasn't been the best way possible. If I drew it out in my head, it would completely be a different way of watching this baseball team be here today. But ultimately, here we are coming down to the wire. It's now September 2nd, and we got our eyes on the prize. Not because they're unique and they roll as a team and they're just beautiful, but because, well, whatever is the slop of the NL East is just reality. By the way, I do want to throw this out there. I hope everyone was safe. I probably shouldn't be saying this 22 minutes, 17, 18, 16 minutes into the show, however deep we are in. But I hope everybody's safe here in South Jersey. I know Mullica Hill got absolutely crushed with the tornado, and it was ugly, and some of the houses were really scary. So I hope everybody's safe. I had to drive into Philly today, and it was a nightmare with the Schuylkill River and the water flowing up, and 76, the Schuylkill, the actual road was a nightmare. It took me 2.5 hours to drive into the studios today. It took me about an hour and 45 minutes to drive home from the studios today. So it was just a long-ass day of that, and I don't know how long it's going to take to kind of get everything back on the right path. But that's that's not the important thing here. The important thing is that everybody is safe. So, I just want to make sure everybody stay safe throughout this time because it's scary. All right, Anytime Hotline. Let's get into it. Here we go.
This team just doesn't die, man. They just do not die. They just do not quit. This team a month ago, if they were down 1 run in a game, you think the game would be over because they just had no spark to them. And now in a game where they're down 6 runs, courtesy to another bad performance by Aaron Nola, who just flat out has just not been good this year. And a game where Bryce Harper hasn't had it's probably his first mediocre game in 2-3 weeks, and they still win this game, and they get the save by Mr. Kennedy, Ian Kennedy himself, who came up clutch. Man, this is just, could they actually do it?
I love the fact that last question, can we really do it? It just makes me laugh because if I just close my eyes and think about what we have experienced as Phillies fans and think about the journey that we went on as a content creator and you, the listeners, throughout this 140 games, 130 games that we have been through, it's wild to think about the ups and downs, right? Because probably in 2 weeks we'll be losing our mind about Joe Girardi somehow, and we'll be screaming about how they fell short. But right now we're thinking, can they do it? And 2 weeks ago they were on an 8-game win streak, and we were thinking about Red October. You know, I'm already getting pictures sent to me from my buddies without any words, no words being said, and it's the picture from we're talking about the Fightins. Just the guy's face looking to the side with his eyes wide open without saying any words, right? But a week ago, this team can't do anything without Rhys Hoskins. This lineup stinks without Rhys Hoskins. They can't score more than 2 runs without Rhys Hoskins. The flow. What? I almost don't even have words for it. Yet we're already questioning, can they do it? For what, the 9th time this season? It probably could have been the 14th or 15th if they had a little bit more ups throughout. But we'll take 9, I guess. Aaron Nola is a problem, though. All these pitchers right now, you can't keep trotting Matt Moore out there. The problem is you don't have any other option. So you're throwing out Matt Moore. You're getting this version of Aaron Nola too much. Zach Wheeler's starting to hit a wall. Kyle Gibson's been as professional gets. Ranger Suarez is giving you 5 innings, maybe an earned run. He's giving you that range, implementing the slider more often, so adding to the repertoire. You touched on the team believing in themselves. And just to close out that point, though, about the starting rotation, how do you win with that? I just don't get it. The way this team fights, though, there's something about it. And we always nitpick leadership. It's not the perfect leadership. I'll tell you that for free. Coming down the stretch, though, there's been this extra pump. Even though it's against a team they should beat, the pump is there. And it's better than not having the pump. Not having the pump results in a 6-0 loss or a 6-2 loss. Or think about it this way. And I know they had help with the defensive flaws, but let's say the only action you got was Andrew McCutchen giving you that double that scored 3 runs and no second surge. They got the surge, but they put the ball in play and they took advantage. They did. They took advantage. We knew this was part of the process the entire way, though. So we can't act as if it doesn't matter now. We've been emphasizing it since the second half started, since after the All-Star break. All right, what's next?
Breaking news. New reports find that anything Washington Nationals could be subject to a choking hazard. Send brooms to the nation's capital immediately. P.S. Aaron Nola is still a number 3 guy in the rotation.
He might be. That might be his role. You know, if that's the case, though, Zach Wheeler, Kyle Gibson. I like Kyle Gibson. You start flirting him around with your 1s and your 2s of your rotation, though, you're not a very deep team. The addition of Kyle Gibson, if he's your 3, if he's your 4, you're in a real spot. Now you're talking Gibson's 2, Suarez might be better than Nola. You just get into this uncomfortable spot, which would be, interesting to think about if this team ever sees a series in the playoff. Let's just say hypothetically, not to get too far ahead of myself here, but if they did win and they did get a playoff series and we actually got a series out of it, where does Aaron Nola fall? Is he 2 by default? Because he never had that experience all those years being the number 1? Or do they look at another direction because we have to value what's best for this baseball team? That's scary. Tell you what, though, this bullpen has been solid. They're kind of finding their roles as I'm glancing over here at the television because college football is back. We got Ohio State and Minnesota going right now. It looks like a huge touchdown for Ohio State here in the second half, which I think that's my cue. I recorded here in the halftime. I got it done, and it looks like the second half just started. We're, 27, 28 minutes into the show? I think it's a good time. I'm sorry. This is maybe the second or third time that this has happened to me, where I had my TV on, something started, and then it was like, well, maybe it's time to shut her down. It's too much sports happening. We're back in the football lifestyle, baby. Now we're all in the different effect, although I think the last time it was a Phillies game that started. And I was talking about the Sixers, and I was waiting for the Phillies, and regardless, I don't think that really matters. So the Phillies somehow won with the worst pitcher on the mound in Matt Moore in 112-6. They had one inning, double, just multiple doubles in a row, 3 double. I'm watching doubles. What the hell, Matt Moore? You stink. Joe keeping him in. How about that aspect? Let me slip this in real quick. Joe Girardi's like, yeah, Matt, I'll give you another inning. Okay. There's a bomb. But they fall back. 6th inning comes around. Bada bing, bada boom. Kutch with a homer. Bada bing, bada boom. And Kutch has been having some bat speed again. Looks like that back speed's back in the mix. We need Kutch. Kutch might not be hitting a lot average-wise, but he's got some power numbers this year that could be crucial when you need something. Bang! When you need something, there's a splash. Kutch. Anyway. All right. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Sports Talk with Brodes, and I will see you next time.